called seed time. I want to spring out in tall grass at dawn and smell the ripe clover in dew and hear that bold redwing burst into song and feel the wake of the earth up my shoe. I want to trail home thirsty at night, burnt dark by the simmering sun, and relax with the draft from the cold water well, laughing at stories that Grandpa would tell, and smiling inside that the planting is done. So you got the rhythm there. The salmon is, of course, a great image of the Paschal mystery. I think there's really no better metaphor in nature for Christ's death and resurrection as the salmon going home to spawn. So I'm going to read this one as an example of rhythm. Is anything less sparing than a sanguine salmon daring heavy hills of roaring water, breaking hard upon her brow, whipping her around to bow, down and down in plunging fall? Yet to a get of life again against the height afar. Now, if you were a group of snooty poets, you'd say, my stars, that's onomatopoeia. But you're not that kind. Yet to a get of life again against the height afar, springs the silver skyward high up through the crash, safe, and on she sidles slowly on, till peace of brook feels home again, a piece of silence in the dusk, far away from rainbow spray and canyon roar, to brave the sea again 1,000-fold. From rainbow spray and canyon to brave the sea again 1,000-fold. Finally, I said that another aspect of poetry for me is the mystery of it. How does it really come about? And I say this because I know I can be thinking of a poem with images and I have a little narrative going. And yet when I first start to write, what comes through that pen point tip, you can't predict that. It's just, it just astounds me. And that's one reason why you want to kind of delay, you know. You want to get down as much of a poem as you can, and then, okay, now I'm ready. What else we got? So there's real mystery, I think, in the poetic act. So I'm going to read these last two poems. The first one is called The Poet. So here's the poet's answer. How could this be, this mystery? The instant pen-pierced parchment, the mysteries beyond the savants, spilled freely from the waking sojourner. Every touch of grace astounded him. Like a boy in dark wood streams, shivering the feeling of a rainbow on the line, he always seemed surprised when meaning serendipitously surfaced before fresh ink dried. Though writing was his daily sacrament, he could not satisfy the queries of the puzzled pundits. Was the dreamy twilight zone before his second coffee culpable? Was he just some cosmic accident? Or had he found, by trial and error, the fountain of poetic youth, the free verse holy grail? A gaunt ascetic, pressed for truth, a cast of best approximation, quote, I sense a sweep of ancient sweetness flowing in his veins. he's either Rumi, reincarnate, or still swimming in the flash of paradise. I'm going to read one last poem, again to illustrate the mystery in the creative act. And to give you an image, sometimes I'll come home and Birdie will say, "Come in the studio," and I'll just say, "What happened?" When I see what she's done, I mean, it's a big question mark. How did this happen? Wow. So I'm going to look to her, and this poem is called "The Art Show." This is one of the few poems that I wrote more or less in one sitting, but that shows you how powerful the emotion was, because she sold so many paintings at the art show. We were all pretty juiced, I guess you'd say. The Art Show. What's inside the sweep of the artist's alchemy that transforms all she touches into beauty that can breathe? How does the seed explode of her creative genius, shooting through the fingered brush, refashioning the world? It's like the wild irises announcing spring's clarion, dancing off the canvas air, splashing fireworks in the eyes. They gather moon dust from the earth and mix sky flakes inside sun spray and startle in their reconfigured leafy mystery like the Word made flesh, made fresh again. Well, thank you all.
Not to speak because I don't know, he's afraid of what I might say, which is the usual fear he has. We go to anyway, but I just wanted to thank you all and say, you know, it's such a pleasure that you all came out on a Tuesday night and honored us, and you know, I hope his poetry gives all of you a lot of blessing and you reread it and enjoy it. But this was a really special evening, and I thank you so much. And I love you.